kwenye kipindi cha Youth Empowerment, ambapo hii leo tunazungumzia mambo kadhaa wa kadha ambayo yanahusiana na vijana, na hii leo tunazungumzia kuhusiana na teens and social media, jambo ambalo limewakumba vijana wengi sana. Na naamini kwamba pale nyumbani mahali popote ulipo right now uko na simu yako hapo kwa mkono wewe kama kijana, na uko kwa social media. Kwa hivyo social media ni jambo ambalo linawashika vijana wengi sana, na hii leo nimejiunga na wageni ambao watatusaidia kuzungumzia mambo haya yote. Kwa upande wangu wa kushoto mwisho niko na Daktari Kiyenga ambaye ni Director of Kenya Centers of Academians and Diverse Research. Karibu sana daktari.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm Dr. Kiyenga Wilfred, the Regional Consultant of Kenya Centers of Academicians, Director of the same organization, and I want to welcome all of you to this program of teens, social media and teens, or teens and social media. It's a very important topic.
Sure.
So thank you so much.
Karibu sana. Tuko na Elias Simon mtazamaji ambaye ni Senior Moderator, Social Media Consultant. Karibu sana Simon.
Thank you so much. Hi viewers, my name has been said, Elias Simon, and most of my work involves social media, so nafanya sana kazi sana katika social media consultancy. Niko na kampuni inaitwa MC Solutions, and basically I just focus on social media. So I'm excited to be here today.
Na nadhani atakuwa manufaa makubwa zaidi kwa sababu yeye labda amepitia yale, ameona zile changamoto ambazo watu wanapitia katika social media. Kwa upande mwingine niko na Winnie, the only lady in the house. Karibu sana Winnie, ambaye ni moderator, mentor, model, mwalimu. Take note of that. Ni mwalimu, so ameinteract na wanafunzi wengi sana, so she knows and she understands what challenges these people go through. Karibu sana mom, tuanze kipindi.
Thank you so much Dan. As it has been said, I'm Winnie, a teacher, a mentor, and also a mother. And I want to say I'm one person who really wishes to see our teens grow to be the adults that we want them to be in life. So karibuni, tutasaidiana pamoja.
Yeah, next to me niko na Philemon Beck ambaye ni kijana mzangu, a mentor, a portfolio officer, and to be precise, he's a banker. Karibu sana ndugu yangu.
Asante sana Dan.
Yes.
Watazamaji, karibuni. And we are happy to be here, and I'll be talking on behalf of young people and try to shed light based on their perspective.
Yes.
Asante.
So karibu sana mtazamaji, nawe pia waweza pale nyumbani ushikilie na usitoe channel, kwa sababu mambo mengi tu tutaenda kujifunza mambo mengi sana, generally yale ambayo yanatuadhiri sisi kama vijana, yanatuadhiri sisi kama wazazi, yanadhiri dunia nzima, na tunazungumzia social media. Utandawazi umeadhiri mambo mengi sana, kwa hivyo na tunaanza ambao ni generation ya kesho, tunaanza na teens. Kwa hivyo tuanze na swali, labda mtu pale nyumbani atakuwa anauliza social media ni nini? Na tujaribu kujua social media ni nini.
Asante sana. Nafikiri hilo ni swali la maana sana. Na unajua kila siku every day talk about social media. Maybe I would divide into two parts. Niliona katika sehemu mbili. Sehemu ya kwanza ni media. Media ni njia ya communication. Sasa tunapoongea juu ya social media, tunaongea juu ya platforms ambazo zinatumia internet kuweza kufanya yale mawasiliano ama communication. Kwa hivyo social media ni platforms ambazo zinatumia internet kuweza kucommunicate ama kufanya mawasiliano. Na mfano wa social media ni maybe Facebook, wengi wako katika Facebook, Instagram, hizo ni za kitambo kidogo. Alafu kuna zile za recent, kuna vitu kama TikTok, Snapchat, unajua pia Twitter iko pale ndani. Kwa hivyo hizi ni mitandao ambayo watu wanatumia sana katika mawasiliano. Kwa hivyo that's hiyo ndio jambo ningeweza kudefine social media.
Right. Mtazamaji, najua kwamba pia wewe hao mambo yote ambayo wanasema na nimezungumzia pale, wewe pia uko kwenye Facebook, kwenye Twitter, labda uko kwenye Instagram, wewe wa TikTok, mambo hayo yote sisi wote tuko ndani. Na njia ya kutumia ama mbinu ya kutumia hiyo social media ndio labda tutakaozungumzia hapa, ina manufaa ama inaadhiri kivipi katika maisha haya ambayo tunayapitia kwa sasa. Lakini tunapenda kujua mbona hiki kikosi ama hiki kikundi tukaamua kuja teens and social media, mbona tukachagua hii topic ya teens and social media? Daktari, hebu tupe kwa kidogo tu au kifupi tu tuambie mbona social media.
Yes, thank you Dan. we, as the Kenya Centers of Academicians and Diverse-Oriented Research, KCADOR, we've been in this industry for the last 10 years, and we've journeyed with young people in schools, in churches, outside school, and we realize that there is a big challenge which is affecting the youth in terms of gender and character, performance in school, availability in the church. You realize that today we do not have the number of youth in the church has really deteriorated, has declined. And you want to discuss with the elders of the church, they even wonder what is the problem. You go to school and you realize that students have a challenge. The drug abuse is a problem. There are so many youth today who, like the young people who are participating in illicit sex and early pregnancies is common. And looking at all this, we trace and we realize that as the Kenya Centers for Academicians and Diverse-Oriented Research, is that is a major problem. The cause for all this is actually social media.
So kwa ufupi unajaribu kusema kwamba haya mambo yote ambayo tunaona, early pregnancies, drug abuse, maybe dropping out of school, tuko na church dropouts.
Yes.
Mtu watu kuacha kanisa, can they be linked to social media?
80% of this, we always talk about, there is a principle we call Pareto principle, the 20-80% rule. And this principle states 80% of effects come from 20% of their causes. That 80% of effects of anything comes from 20% of their causes. And when you look at everything you have told me, I would say that the 20% or the 80% of those reasons are caused by social media.
Wow. Yes. Sitakuwa mfitini. Sitakuwa mfitini kwa sababu wale ambao watu wana fitina ndio wanaongelea uzuri wa mtu na wanaubadilisha unakuwa ubaya. Sitakuwa hivyo. Social media iko na mazuri mengi, iko na manufaa mengi sana. So tusiwe wafitini. Tuende kwa kuzungumzia ubaya uzuri, but in a bad way. But now social media imekuwa linked na mambo mengi mabaya. That one, hata mtazamaji, you can attest to that. Unaweza kubaliana nasi kwamba social media imeathiri mambo mengi sana. Yaani imefanya mambo mengi hata kanisani, things are not going right, workplaces, mahali mengi tu sana. Hata mtihani ambao unaendelea sasa hivi, umeona wanafunzi wengi wakihusishwa na afisa ya udanganyifu just because of a phone. Kwa hivyo kuna njia, kuna mbinu ya kusambaza ule mtihani na inakuja kwa social media. WhatsApp. Mtu anapiga picha ya ule mtihani then anatumia mwanafunzi mahali. Haya mambo yote tumeyasikia, tumeyaona. So hebu tuzungumzie ubaya wa social media ni upi sasa? Tuanze kwa mwalimu ambaye ako na wanafunzi pale, ako na hawa teens ambao tunazungumzia. Madam, what is the disadvantage or the negative side of social media?
Dan, thank you. I want to say one is that the social media takes much of the time of the students or the youth that they forget about themselves. Two, what they do inside there is not real life. These are an illusion. Some people post things which actually they want to attract attention so that they gain their likes. And by the end of it all, you realize people will be spending much of their time, or the youth are spending much of their time to see to it that they are liked. And if they don't, then they get depressed and anxiety comes in. And so finally you find it will affect their lifestyles and their behaviors. At times they may go to a drug, or they may actually join other gangsters because they want to fit into a system, because their friends are trending in the social media. So I'm going to say the usage of this social media actually is what determines the outcome of what we have in our society today. That when we look at the youth, much of their work is actually within the social media. And when I say the social media, let us not limit to the phone. Even our TVs, even the computers that we have, they spend much of their time there. And what they do may not be something to have their value. It is something to keep them moving.
Yes.
And I would want to say, when we look at that also, it has actually caused like the youth are not creative as expected. Why? Is because they are actually trying to mimic something which is going on in the social media. And so you realize it is actually affecting our society and the youth, to be precise. So I would want to say this challenge is not actually limited to the personal effect, but you realize when the youth are affected, it will also affect the family and the community and also the church.
Sure.
And also in school, because we don't get the results that we desire to get, because one, these students or the youth have been influenced by the social media that they want to get easy things. A while ago you said about the exam cheating. It is because they know they can access through the social media.
Sure.
And so much of their time is, if I can get this phone, I will actually get the end result. Which may not come up. And so when we look at this scenario, when we talk about the social media and the teens, it is something which we need to look at it at keen, because I tend to think the social media, the way it came and it impacted to the youth, is something that it has left a lot to be desired. One is the teens are actually having some, I wouldn't want to say immoral behaviors, but behaviors which are not expected. One is the dress code, the dance style, whatever they take as maybe for relaxation or leisure time, they actually borrow from the social media.
Sure.
So the impact is very great. And I want to say the results that we have within the society is attributed, the way that Tari said, 80% is actually linked to the social media, because we are not living a real life. We are living an imaginative life. I want to be like somebody who is in the social media. If I fail, I get depressed.
Okay.
That is
all right. Now look feel wewe tuseme maybe you are just one step from youthhood, but bado uko ile bracket. Hebu tuambie social media imeadhiri kivipi youth life? Has it affected positively or negatively? According to you now, tuache kuzungumzia ubaya. According to
asante sana Uncle Dan. And the negative effect, ninaweza sema kwamba social media in affect in both ways, positively and negatively, depending actually on how you take it. When you talk of negative things, I think majorly what I've experienced ni kwamba kuna ile nasema misplaced priorities. Ulikuwa ufanya jambo fulani, ukapata kitu YouTube, ukachukua muda wako, ukaanza kuwatch, you miss the priority that you meant to do at that point. Jambo lingine ambalo linaathiri ni kwamba inaleta ile tunaita laziness, uvivu. Why is that? And people may challenge that and we may debate about it, but it is true that the entire night, 3/4 of the night, wanafunzi na young people utilize that time to watch nasty things, to watch football, to review betting, to do what, and then you find that the time that you're using to sleep, the remaining time inayotakana ulale vizuri ndo amke vizuri kwa energetic ni kidogo. So unapoamka asubuhi you're a bit tired and the entire day is spoiled because ume disorient ile program ya kulala na kuamka. So laziness inaingia pale. At the same time, laziness in the event that vile mwalimu amesema, that the students nowadays, if we give them assignment to research on, they don't research in books. They research in Google. You see what people have done and all that. So unaangalia inaleta ile uvivu, and that is why the way mwalimu was saying is that they don't have the results that they desire.
Yes.
Why? It is because of this kind of research that we have in the mindset of these young people. Kwa upande mwingine, the social media is good. It has reduced the whole global into a small village. We understand, and that is what Dr. is calling it, the information age. We get a lot of information ASAP. We may understand as we're sitting here, something is happening in a certain area because of what we have. So it has a lot of positive when you talk about it. Again, we've been informed. There's something that a long time we couldn't find it easier. It is now saving cost. When you talk of social media, we can import things. You can order things online. Sure. They can be delivered to your doorstep. So that is a positive aspect of the social media. And again, right now that we have a challenge with the pandemic, some of the people can really sit down in their bedrooms or study room and do the work and send the report in the evening. Yeah, they can work at home. So you can see that we have a lot of positive. But why are we having a lot of negative? It is because of the mindset of the young people and what we desire to research in the social media. That is my take.
Mtazamaji, ni mambo mazuri sana, ni mambo ambayo yanatuadhiri sisi wote, and I can say we need just to concentrate on this. Chukua kitu kimoja out of all this conversation and just implement in your family, implement in your life, because mimi mwenyewe naadhirika na social media in one way or the other. Wewe mwenyewe pale unaadhirika with social media in one way or the other. Now we've studied or we've seen all these things happening to us. Now what is the role of us as parents in educating the youth or the teens on how to use the positive, or how to make the good use of this social media, because it has the good things. And if we consider, by the way, the positive side is much mingi kushinda negative. But I think, like brother Beta said, the priorities zetu zimeenda kwa negative side. So kama wazazi, because kwa mfano mimi nijipenda kama mfano, niko na mtoto mdogo, and anything I do, maybe kwa simu, nikiweka chini utapata anaanza kufanya. Ukianza kufanya anything maybe pale kwa TV ukishika remote, utapata anaanza kushika na anafinya hivi. So what are we trying to see here? Anafuata kile ambacho anafanya. So at long last utapata huyu mtoto, the way I will use Facebook, kwa sababu nimemshika and I'm just chatting with somebody, ataenda pale anaanza kufanya vile na atajua akijua kwamba, because we are the first teachers to our children. Yeah, so what are we going to do as parents? What is our role in making the social media useful to this generation that is coming? Because we're looking at the teens.
And if I may ask viewers, how many times do we use our phones at home as parents and our children? How many times do we discuss issues with our children? You realize in our homes, we are all on our phones. The father on the social media, the mother on the social media, the child on the social media. Then who is to blame here? It will go back to us, the parents. And I think we need to give the example the way Uncle Dana said. This young child mimicking what the father does. So the challenge that we have today, I think the missing link is how we handle the social media and the technology when it arrived. And that is now we need to look forward to see the parents being responsible. Let us have time to discuss issues about the technology. Not looking at the technology in itself per se, but talk about it. Talk about what you view on the TV. Talk about what you see on the phone. Find out how these things are actually helping, whether they are positive or negative, so that we don't actually say the youth, the teens, and the social media. Let us come back to ourselves and see, are we actually asking them to do the right thing using this gadget, or we are actually aiding them to do the same? Because if you are sitting at the corner there and the mother on the other side and the child is here, we don't know what you're viewing there. And that is where the missing link is coming. So we need to reposition ourselves and know how to handle these gadgets so that we don't say the teens are actually getting spoiled because of the social media. Let us have adopted information that we discuss openly what we need to look at in the social media, what we need to do, and at what time, not all the time, so that we don't spend much of the time on the social media.
Wow. Yes, I would also, that is powerful, and I feel that we usually say you can never teach what you don't have. You can never transmit values that you don't have. And we cannot expect our parents to, all our parents to do this. And so we need education. We need to be educated. We need really to educate our parents.
Yes.
We need to educate the students and the children themselves about the importance of social media and also the negatives. Yes. I have always said many times that the best way to prepare your child is not to make them successful or to show them how to be successful, but the best way is to show them how they can live without you. If you can make your child to know how to live without you, they can survive without you, then you are teaching them how to be successful. And you see, our parents have no time, just like Madam has said, that they do not have time for their children. But even if they have the time, most of the parents today are young. We have young parents actually who have no idea on how, who have no skills on the same issues. They have no solutions for the same issues. And so watching a channel, for example, watching a movie, for example, is not a problem. They can work with the child. They can sit with the child. They have no problem because they don't understand the challenges. So what I would think is that we really need, we understand there are so many advantages of social media. There are so many advantages. But you see, only one disadvantage can ruin everything. Sure. As we say, what ruins good models. So that is the point. So I would really say that we need education. We need programs, but you cannot just sit, expect miracles to happen one day, people to change. We are in the 21st century, the information age, and we can never reverse, we can never go back. Changes have come, and we cannot stop them. The only big thing that we need is education. The only solution that we really need now is mentorship. Yes.
Wow. Mentorship. Now that is the role of a parent in making this social media add value kwa yule mtoto wako.
Yes, as you say parent.
Yes.
I think maybe, I don't know if we moved away from the same point, but of course, as you say parent, if I would just, before I allow him to speak, if I would just say that the parent needs to understand that as a mother and a father, they also need education.
That's the bottom line now. Because there are those parents who don't know anything about social media. Mtoto ni chopi kumshinda about social media. Atamuonyesha, this is how Facebook is done. This is how Instagram is done.
And I want to say that is the real scenario that we have, whether be it the social media or real life. The parents that we have, the children seem to know much, and the parents shy off. So the children are left to do what they want to do.
Because
the fear of they are known by the parents.
After all, mimi kama mzazi sijui kenye mtoto wangu anafanya sasa
kwenda shule.
You know,
sometimes parents, I've had many parents who sometimes you give them a proposal on how they can handle their children. On a program, for example, an already program, a program during the holiday, during the half term, and you give them, the parents are saying, let me consult the child. So the child. In fact, I had some things. A parent called me to their house. Some parents called me to their house, and I was there at home. I told you, see, you are going to talk to the children, tell them everything about them. I told them that you see, you need to tell them. Because and I've consulted them, and they have said they need more information. It's okay. But you children should not decide for you. You must not more than them. You are experienced. You are parent.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I want to give us a scenario. I was discussing with the parents, give them understanding for this business. And he was telling me that all the issues of phones, they had no option. The only way they could be able to survive in their houses was giving their children phones.
Wow.
Because that's the way they could be able to have peace.
Yeah.
Now, it's not just during this time of COVID-19. Today, when you're at home and your baby cries, what do you give them? The phone. And then the same thing you're condemning social media, saying that no, it's bad, but it takes as a distraction. I look at it as a way of hypocrisy for parents to say that social media is bad, but when my children cry, they give them social media. The truth is that, like Beth said, it's something you're not to be able to run away from. Today, statistics show that 40% of young people, when they wake up in the morning, the first place they go to is social media. That's either WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok.
You see updates.
40%. When you wake up in the morning, even before you do anything, you go to social media.
Sure.
Of course, that's not a good habit. But the thing is that it's a reality that we have right now.
Yeah.
So the question is that, what is the role of the parents? The challenge is that most of our parents, I don't want to blame them. Because when we grew up, or when the parents grew up, they used to go out and play. They had the community thing, you had those games used to play. But for children, they have to go in that society. They're going in the society of technology. So if you're telling a parent to understand technology, actually even if you give them a smartphone, their baby, because of the age where they are born in, they will understand faster. So I think we should be able to look at the principles that last forever, because technology keep on changing.
Yeah.
And we can't be like the police and the thief. We're trying to chase what we keep up on not happening to our children. Of course, there are ways that, for example, we've got internet in your house, there are ways you can be able to prevent which sites your children go. Because there are those options. Whereby you want to make sure that if they maybe use the internet, they can't go to watch pornography. Okay? Yeah. They can't go to watch certain sites. You can be able to control that. Right? But again, I think the best part is that we teach our children the principles that last forever. Because every day a new platform is coming. Last year it was TikTok.
Yeah.
This year something else will be able to come up. Sure. And they'll keep on. So we can't task the parents to keep on studying every new platform. Yeah. The best way we find what are the principles that as parents we can be able to teach our children, so that no matter what platform comes, then they know to what extent they can be able to go to. Maybe to give another scenario, you know, to that aspect, because parents are busy like kids, and they have to make sure that they teach their children again, they want to, if something happens, we want to learn to go so that's when they are safe. And that's what we want to be sure that if anything happens at home, we can be able to teach. Now, give them the phone with hope that they're good to use it well. Around the other end, they will jump on Instagram, because on Instagram they've got these groups whereby they discuss, you know, they've got their own groups. On TikTok they've got groups, they've got TikTok challenges, they've got Instagram challenges, okay, they've got Facebook challenges, and the idea is that maybe they want to be able to maybe they're doing the dance or something, right? So they won't tell you that they're doing this, and you never know. But when you're away, you're able to go and dance, because they're close to you, you're not able to know. And that's what we're talking about, seeking approval from the friends on social media. So the parents dance to this challenge, and the more you get the better. Because that's how you look at you. So if you don't get that exposure, you don't get friends commenting, let's start there. You're not good enough. Maybe they like video because they ban from all their friends see on social media. That's a bad thing. We should teach our children to have self-esteem, not for what their friends on social media, but by the fact that they're doing things that is better than that.
And talking on social media has one disadvantage.
Yes.
I cannot post a bad life about myself.
Yeah.
I cannot post something bad about myself. So my son or my daughter will look at those things a friend posts, that life a friend posts, and try to live that life. Wow. Not knowing that life, for example, me myself, if I post all these things that we talk here, pictures of this house, like my positive life, somebody will not know me.
Yeah.
You know, Uncle Dan is a presenter, nice presenter, dressing well, but in my own house, I may be dressed in a kinyasa. We dress in a torn shirt. You know, the real life.
I thought what you should tell them is everything they see on social media is edited.
Yes, social media is just a lie.
Everything has been edited and they present the positive side of everything.
Sure.
I would wish to say that
Yeah.
let us make them to know that these likes that you are liked,
Yes.
you are actually dehumanizing yourself
Mhm.
because you are equating yourself to your self-worth to figures or numbers,
Uh-huh.
which is not real.
Sure.
So if they need to know that the likes, it is not about those many people liking you, it is about the value in you that will be liked. And let us not imagine the imaginative profile pictures or whatever we see in the social media, that is the real life. So I would want to say, let us actually tell these young people, the people who like posting to be liked, to gain fame, that is not the real life. You are actually equating your life to a substance or something.
Yes.
Because you are equivalent to numbers. You say that I have 1,000 followers, or I have how many viewers, or how many likes.
Yeah.
It is like your life is based on people's likes.
Sure.
So that is actually dehumanizing your work in life. And I think that is the basis that we need to look at.
Yeah, that I posted a picture and only 20 like. Does it mean you don't like?
Does it you're not good?
You know,
Just to mention that even the social media companies are noticing this.
Yes.
And if you look at Instagram, for example, they removed the like option in their posts. So you can't see how many people have liked your thing.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. They realize that more and more people are becoming getting this syndrome of just like wanting likes. So they have to remove that function. And I wish more social media platforms would do that.
Yeah.
Such that people think about, if I'm going to be posted on social media, I should focus on, and that's a positive side of social media.
Teaching something that
Educate people on social media. Exactly.
You're passing a message.
Exactly. Use it to be able to educate people, to be able to add value. Not so that people can be able to like you.
Yeah.
It's just because you're supposed to be able to add value. And that's the attitude you should be able to approach it with.
Wow. Natumai tunasonga vizuri na mtazamaji kwa maana haya mambo yote mambo tunayoongelea we just representatives, but these things we just going through all these things. Wewe pale nyumbani mmoja mapata ambapo kazini we see all these things happening. So wewe kama mzazi pale nyumbani is just to pick one thing out of this whole conversation, work through it. My guests today whatever prepare solution labda la maneuver and maybe know how to mentor your child, how to educate your child through this social media, because social media on the other side is a good thing, because this time during the pandemic imesaidia mambo mengi sana. Hatujaenda kanisani muda uliopita, but churches were allowed to do online services, you know. Now those services social media ilisaidia, kuna wale ambao walikuwa nyumbani and they enjoyed the service. Kuna mambo mengi ambayo yanaendelea, labda uko na mpendwa mahali fulani and because of the lockdown you cannot travel, and labda kuna harusi inaendelea pale and they stream live. You enjoy the occurrences there through social media. Now that is the positive side of social media. Now kama sisi kama vijana tuko na jukumu letu. We have a role to play to overcome this. So kuna yule kijana ambaye labda anatazama pale nje. Yeye kama kijana kuna cyberbullying, kuna drug addictions, hizo vitu zote. Because you know, if ni kama niko Facebook, nitapita hizi vitu zote. These things are there. Nitapatana tunazo pale anywhere. Now, how am I going to overcome all these challenges za kujaribu kuona what about hii kitu inaongelea banki, what about hii kitu inaongelea marijuana, you know, all this drugs ama hii dance challenge and you know some things nimekuja kugundua kuna kitu tuzungumzie, kuna vitu tuzungumzie about color. A lot of things, a lot of pictures, a lot of dance styles are leading us to a certain color. Na tuzungumzie.
It is very true.
Tuzungumzie.
It is very true, and I want to say that some time back I was checking in the social media.
Yes.
Then a pop message and a photo just pop. This guy is actually having a flashy car and he looked good. And only to see there, if you want to know how to make money,
Yes.
link me. Then there is elimination. It's like, huh? What?
It's a classic
And
life.
it just came, huh? So what do you expect?
Ni maisha mazuri.
So we need to talk about these things. They are there, but we need to know exactly what these things, the Celtic religion which is there, all about it. Let us expose our children to know that. Because I'm going to say, I was imagining if I was in that desperate situation, and many of our youth are there,
Sure.
especially those who cleared university. And they are looking for jobs. And then you just see a pop message, and then there's a number there, you don't read the entire message, you call the person. You become a member. You say what?
Wow. Just on that, and it is very important that certain things really lead to something negative. But it also boils down to what we've been talking about, the role of a parent to the child. And my sincere concern is that how are we teaching our kids in terms of how they can acquire wealth? Are we telling them that you should have a honest labor? You should always strive and purpose to earn things in the right way? Are we raising our kids based on certain values and morals in the society? So that when these kind of things pop up in your phone, the child may not be swayed away because he or she understands the grounds and the importance of earning an honest amount. And that really shows that how idle the young people are and how quick we really want to be rich as young. We admire good things, and look at what young people post. That tells you what people admire. The young people want to have a nice house at 20. Sure. A 4-bedroom house, well furnished with everything, with internet, with big screens, and a nice car.
So they will do anything.
Yes. So the desire to achieve or to acquire wealth at a tender age really leads to, immoral minds. Give you a creative mind that is not good. You use your creativity to acquire wealth in the wrong manner. And therefore, what I would request is that let us go back to those days. The days of zakina mama zetu, mababu zetu, where people tulikuwa tunakusanyika, tunaambiwa leo Bomwari atawaongelesha. We were taught on how to live. And come to think of it, there were some funny stories. Right now we can think upright and read between the lines. It was pure lies. But at the end of the day, it was serving a certain purpose. Sure. Right? No, hadithi za ajabu yes, ganja and all that, chemosi, those kind, for the poor understand the language. So let us create ways in the modern society at the moment. We leave those stories like kitambo, but we create a more diverse method of tuning our kids, and that way we shall go far. Now, a while ago we were discussing about parents who really shy away from their kids. I think sometimes parents take away their positions and sell it away to their kids, which is not good. Why? You may not as educated as your kids, but you're very smart and you had wisdom, to invest in them. That is more than education. You foresaw things that people didn't see. Yeah. You really projected that if I take my kid to school now, they can live a better life. So who is smarter than the other? You knew that I want to take my kid to school. Yeah. So you had that knowledge. So I want to really push and urge our parents that they should not shy away from the kids. Look at your kids and your children straight to the eye and tell them exactly what you need them to do. And I have a living example, and parents who really install Wi-Fi in the house for the kids, because he knows that the moral that he has already instilled in those kids, they may not misuse that particular Wi-Fi that is being paid for on a monthly basis.
Wow.
So it is basically boiling down to what exactly are we doing. No child can really challenge you on certain things.
Yeah.
So that is what I want to say. Yes.
Oh, I see time is running on outside. Time is really running.
Just briefly, let me say this, the role of the children in all this. I'll touch on the parents and the children. I think at some level, many of us viewers as parents, we've got a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 15-year-old, they've got smartphones. How many of us can be able to discuss what goes on that phone? Because the issue comes of privacy. You know, a 12-year-old has got privacy. You know, a 13-year-old has got privacy. You know, I think we need to get more serious. Okay, and be able to now, as children, as teens, and also youths who are also in this program, I want you to ask yourself: are you a consumer of information, or are you a producer of information on social media? You just go there to be able to consume and consume and consume and consume, or are you there to be able to contribute positively to social media? Because the truth is that things have become so easy. Back then, you had to make money. You had to have a big coffee farm or maybe tea farm, right, to be able to make money. But today, I can just develop a mobile hub, and I can make money with that. So it's a good thing, and things have become so easy. It used to take 25 years to be able to become rich back then. But then within 3 years, you can be able to come. Why? Because of the internet. So it has really made work so easy. But the point is that don't be a consumer of information. Contribute more. It doesn't matter what platform. It can be on Instagram or Facebook. Be there to educate people. Create a positive wave for other people to be able to impact people in a positive way.
Sure.
Dan, I just want, that is very important. And I feel like just saying something that, you see, we cannot sit down and expect things to change without our us taking action. Parents, the school, the church, we are all in it. We are all in the problem. And we can't just expect manna from heaven, or one day we say these social media problems are vended. They can't. We have a problem with our parents, and that is where the problem begins. We are not ready to pay the price. And for anything to change or anything to happen, you must pay the price.
Sure.
What do I mean by paying the price? You see, we are not experts in everything. You can be a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, a teacher, and everything for your child.
Sure.
Maybe you can be a doctor, but maybe medical doctor, but you cannot be a teacher. You can be a teacher, but you cannot be a doctor. You can be a teacher, but you're not a lawyer. Now, what happens is that we need to identify mentors for our children, and really pay the price in terms of time, making sure that we have time with our mentors, making sure that we have time with our children, having time with them. And this one should begin from the early age. When I teach my child that once in a while, you should have a mentor come to speak to you, and the child will even see me paying money to the mentor, organizing programs, seminars for the young people, for the youth, taking our children somewhere, as even like from here to Kisumu to Nairobi for our seminar, to be trained. Now, as the Kenya Centers for Academicians, now what is happening is that we have programs for kids, for children, whereby we really take our time to teach them certain aspects and even train them on certain procedures, and they do those kind of procedures, and we create YouTube platforms for them. And of course they can post those things there, they can be able to teach people, they can be able to have public speaking, they can showcase their talents. And when you do this from the young age, the child knows, oh, social media is a good thing. The only, what I can do is just to produce content, as you said, and then when you produce content, you use them, they are paid. The children can even get money from the same. Now, that is what we are lacking. We are not ready to pay the price. The churches today expect free things. You are in a church and the church just wants free things. They expect people to come and speak to their youth. But you see, even those who come to our churches to speak to the youth must be paid.
I think we'll do this. We will cut short the conversation. Then next time we're going to talk about the church and social media. Because time muda nao umekwisha. Muda nao umeisha. Mtazamaji, mniruhusu leo nisipe kila mgeni wangu fursa ili amalize kwa sababu ya muda. Naona director wangu pale ananipeleka mbio zaidi. Asante sana kwa kutazama Stewards TV, na naamini kwamba social media ina mambo mengi sana ambayo tunafaa tujadili, na naamini kwamba umepick kitu kimoja. Wakati mwingine tutaendelea tena ili tuzungumzie zaidi kuhusiana na social media. Najua hatujachambua mambo yote. We need like a week to be precise ili tuzungumzie haya mambo yote. Kwa hivyo mtazamaji, kufikia hapo hii leo tunatia kikome kipindi chetu cha youth empowerment, kwa sababu tunataka kumtia kijana nguvu pale nyumbani, tunataka kuinua kijana pale nyumbani ili ajue anapofanya mambo yake ni vipi atakuwa kijana wa manufaa katika maisha ya usoni ama maisha yake mwenyewe. How will he make his life or her life beneficial yeye mwenyewe, si ati sisi tufaidike. Because if a parent takes a child to school, ni kwa manufaa ya mwanafunzi. Mzazi anapata 1%. Mengine tutazungumzia next week. Hadi wakati huo, na kutakia kila laheri. Endelea kutazama Stewards TV ili uzidi kuinuliwa na kubarikiwa na vipindi vyetu. I've been your host, Uncle Dan Mukaya. Back to you. Asanteni sana. Barikiwa.